and he's happy to let that bounce behind for a corner. Another set piece. The Cop at Bramall Lane gets to its feet, hoping they can help. Maybe suck the ball into the net from the corner by John Lundstram. In it comes. It's a little bit long. It's headed down by Robertson and then half cleared by Origi. Chase on for Alexander Arnold, but quickly taken throw by Baldock to find Basham. Can't control it. Alexander Arnold finds Salah. Salah with a touch, but is dispossessed brilliantly by Enda Stevens, who does well to find Basham, who now seems to be playing as an auxiliary midfield player coming up from set-up. Should probably switch to a 4-4-2, Chris Wilder, in an attempt to try and get back into this game. That's a foul on Fabinho, though, by George Baldock.
You just wonder, John, are Sheffield United going to get one chance from now until the end of this 90 minutes here? They're certainly pressing forward, trying to get back into this game. They only need one chance.
Brent Parker, listening from Montana, USA. Always choose my radio commentary over the television. Excellent job as usual, thank you. Maybe Liverpool will get that bit of luck this year after all. They certainly have had the rub of the green in this one so far. Olawale Ruse, happy with the goal. It eases my tension. What a game. You guys' voices sound really nice. A job well done, bro. Olawale rules from Agbowo. I'm not sure I know where that is. You'll have to explain where that is. Ahmed Kush, I bet Liverpool win the league this season. The football gods are behind them, just like any other past winner. I remember Vincent Kompany's goal against Burnley last season. Yeah, there's always one, isn't there? It's maybe a little bit early to be calling that a defining moment, but it could be. I mean, who knows? I mean, if Everton pinch something off Manchester City, Liverpool really will be in the box seat. Arsenal, of course, and Manchester United face each other, but they've got 21 points. Manchester City currently 13. Sheffield United will stay 10th if they lose this game. But to be fair, there's a yellow card there, I think, for Adrian for time wasting. Sheffield United, I mean, they're level on points at the moment with Spurs and Manchester United, and they're actually above Chelsea on goal difference, so that's a pretty good start in anyone's book, isn't it?
And it's incredible, John. If they were to win this game, or if they were to win this game, they would have been up into, I think, fourth position, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Just shows you
if
how
they win
tight
by a
it is.
single goal, they would be fourth above Arsenal. If they'd win by 2 goals, they'd go third above Leicester. But at the moment, they've only got 6.5 minutes. I think 1 goal would be very, very much appreciated, never mind 2. Here's Fabinho finding Origi. It's an excellent ball by Fabinho, and Origi trying to find Firmino, and now Robertson. And Origi again, it's been lively since he came on. He's pretty much playing as a left-sided midfield player almost. This is Fabinho. Too hard, the pass for Trent Alexander. And they've done that a lot, Liverpool, haven't they? They've tried to play these raking cross-field passes, but they're overheating a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, we know the grass is wet. There's been a lot of rain on it, certainly before the game. But I mean, for me, Liverpool haven't been at their very best today, and it's been quite obvious. But we've got to give credit to Sheffield United. They've really played their part in today's game, and on another occasion could have got a couple of goals.
Yeah. Robin in Brazil says he's been with us every game this season, but my tweets appear to get lost. Hoping the Toffees can give all their friends at LFC a hand later on. Well, Liverpool are going to be in the strange position, aren't they, of wanting Everton to win. It doesn't happen very often, but it's all about looking after number one, isn't it? And if Everton do take anything away from Manchester City, then Liverpool, provided they can get through the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time, will be in wonderful position. Oh, but a chance here for Sheffield United, and it's put over the bar by Leon Clark. The low ball in from the left-hand side. Liverpool switched off, and Clark blazed over the bar from close range. It was a really, really good ball. I think it was Fleck, who's been their outstanding player. Clark got beyond Robertson, but he got his foot under the ball and has scooped it over the crossbar, and a wonderful opportunity for a Sheffield United equaliser has been and gone.
Absolutely incredible. Sheffield United should definitely be on level terms by now. Great ball it was in by Fleck, as you say, John. And Clark's got on the end of it. Adrian very, very hesitant. Maybe should have come for it. Him and Robertson were waiting for one another. Great ball in. Clark's just got to make a decent contact, and it's in the back of the net. He makes too much of a contact on it, in fact, and it flies over the net. Massive let off for Liverpool.
Yeah, first Premier League game of the season for Leon Clark. As I said, he hasn't scored for Sheffield United for quite a while. He scored in a win against Derby on Boxing Day. So that's what, 9-10 months ago. Header way out of play by Egan. Liverpool have a throw close to the corner flag. 4 minutes to go at Bramall Lane plus stoppage time, of which I don't think there'll be a huge amount, maybe 3, maybe 4. Trent Alexander-Arnold have been told to hurry up. They've already seen Adrian Book, so that might add another minute or so. James Milner is about to come on for Liverpool, and he's replacing Roberto Firmino, who hasn't been particularly effective today. Not able to add to his 51 Premier League goals, a record for a Brazilian player. Off he trots, and on comes James Milner, 33 years young, scored in the League Cup win against MK Dons in midweek. James Milner, this is his 522nd Premier League appearance. He's 6th on the all-time list. Throw-in is going to be taken by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Here's Mo Salah. Fabinho finds Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum thinks about a shot. Instead it's come to Robertson. Robertson finds Origi. Origi, quick feed inside the box. Great by Origi. Shot not so good. Did brilliantly well to set it up, and then with his right foot he scraped it wide of the near post.
Yeah, fantastic. A little bit of trickery. Robertson plays Origi on this left-hand side. This is what he likes. Great position for him. It's a little flip-flap, I don't know what they call it. It's a little trick he does. Yeah,
just sort of moves it under his foot and then flicks it with the outside of the foot to fool the defender.
Brilliant bit of skill.
Clever play.
Couldn't quite get his shot away on target.
Adrian has the ball in his hands. He's going to have to hurry up because he's already been booked for time wasting. Wants him sent off. And Sheffield United, who spanned a wonderful chance through Leon Clark, get a goal which will be hugely well received by fans of Manchester City. Clark is on his way again. Adrian's come all the way out of his box, and it was the right decision from the Spanish goalkeeper. He just was decisive, decided to come and hacked it away deep into Sheffield United territory. 2 minutes to go. Sheffield United 0, Liverpool 1. Liverpool about to extend their winning run in the Premier League to 16 matches. 18 is the record in the Premier League in a row, held by Manchester City a couple of seasons ago. And Liverpool heading for a 9th successive away win as well. They're unbeaten. If they win this in 24 games in the Premier League. They haven't lost since that defining game against Manchester City, when they lost at the Etihad by 2-1 back in early January. Here's Mo Salah looking to wrap it up. Good play by Salah, who gets the shot in. It's blocked though by O'Connell. Comes out to Milner, who's on as a substitute down the right hand side. Great run by James Milner, but halted by Ollie McBurney. And Leon Clark finds Ender Stevens. Clark is wearing gloves. It's not that cold, is it?
It's amazing that he's wearing gloves.
Yeah.
It's not even autumn yet, is it?
What's he going to be wearing when it's winter? He's going to sort of turn up wearing an overcoat. A balaclava or something, I don't know. It's bizarre. Anyway, here's Baldock. Sheffield United looking for a late equaliser. There's the header from McBurney, and it's a long, long way wide in the end. He got away from his man, but he couldn't put his header anywhere near on target, Ollie McBurney. And we're in the last minute of the 90, and Liverpool are very close to getting what would be, I think, best described as a streaky win. It hasn't been emphatic. They haven't been particularly good. They've come across a very resolute side, and they've been helped by a goalkeeping fumble. They've got 4 minutes of stoppage time to get through, as Adrian puts the ball directly out of play. Can Sheffield United do the rest of the Premier League a favour with a late goal? Up towards McBurney, who shields it. Away by Milner, but it'll drop here for Basham. Basham tries to find Lundstram, but Liverpool win it back with Sadio Mane, who's lasted the 90 minutes after that dead leg, but has lost the ball in midfield here, but has gone down injured to the extreme displeasure of the Bramall Lane supporters. Bulldog penalised, it didn't look much in it, but well, I think Mane's gone looking for that, hasn't he? There's no contact, he's just run into his back and
that's a poor decision.
Yeah, it is a poor decision. He's had quite a good game, Anthony Taylor, to be fair, and we haven't mentioned him much, which is usually a sign that the referee's doing his job quite well. Virgil van Dijk with the free kick. It's not a good one. It's presented straight to Bulldog, who finds Lundstram. Ender Stevens opposite side for Sheffield United. 1.5 minutes of the added on period has already elapsed. And they have one last chance, the hosts. Remember, they took a point off Chelsea. Long ball forward, decent looking one, and it's kept in on the far side by Stevens, trying to get past James Milner. Stevens can't get past Milner, who blocks it with his right foot, and it goes out for a throw-in close to the corner flag. Chris Wilder is whistling and shouting and cajoling his players in the stoppage time period to get what anybody but a Liverpool fan couldn't possibly begrudge them an equaliser, Sheffield United, because they played really, really well. Even if they do lose, I'm sure he'll take enormous positives from this. Here's the ball into the box. McBurney climbs, Adrian claims, and the chance has gone. And Adrian just holds out his right hand, saying, OK, let's calm down, let's just take a breath and get through to the end of this game. I mean, it's a bit of an old cliche, but it nonetheless does ring true that these are the sort of performances that can win titles, aren't they, Jimmy, where you're really not particularly at it, but you win an awkward game with a bit of luck. And
well, you look at
we've seen teams do it so often in the past, haven't we?
Absolutely. We look at the game, John, you can tell, Liverpool have definitely not been at their best, but if they were to win this game, I mean, obviously fortuitous the goal that they received, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's hard fought 3 points, but it looks like it's going to be 3 points, although Trent Alexander-Arnold has fired the ball straight against Ollie McBurney and was rather fortunate to see the ball cannon back. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's about to come on for Liverpool, who face Red Bull Salzburg in the Champions League in midweek. Then they've got some tough games. Leicester City, who are going really well at Anfield, followed by a huge one, Manchester United away, before they face Genk in the Champions League. And of course they theoretically will face Arsenal in the last 16 of the League Cup, although, to repeat, there is an inquiry being held into whether Pedro Chirivella, who came on in the victory against MK Dons, was ineligible, and if he is or was, it's possible that Liverpool could be kicked out of the Carabao Cup. I doubt that'll happen. It's more likely to be a fine, but there is going to be some sort of inquiry into whether the correct paperwork was done to allow him to play. Anyway, here's Leon Clark, foiled by Robertson, who gets the ball away for Liverpool. We've had 4 minutes of stoppage time, but the referee is allowing play to go on. This is surely the last chance for Sheffield United, and it's a poor touch into the box by O'Connell. Adrian claims the ball, and surely when he next launches it forward, the referee, Anthony Taylor, will blow his whistle, and Liverpool will make it 7 wins out of 7 at the start of the campaign. A penny for the thoughts of Dean Henderson, whose horrendous mistake has given Liverpool victory. Jorginho Wijnaldum, the scorer, with 20 minutes left, but it was Henderson's appalling blunder which allowed the goal to go in. It hasn't been a classic performance from Liverpool, but they have gone 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League with a 16th successive victory. It's finished Sheffield United 0, Liverpool 1. This is Premier League Live. Real danger here for Sheffield United. Salah still has it. Firmino has it now. And Mane! Brilliant save out to Firmino again. In the 53rd minute, and Ali McBurney is up there and headed it just over the bar. And here come Sheffield United. The shot is low and hard, and Adrian from the effort by Oliver Norwood. No chance for a header. It'll come out to Wijnaldum. Oh no! Sheffield United let the ball squeeze through Dean Henderson's hands and over the line. It's a goalkeeping calamity. Salah's clear now. This is a chance to wrap it up. And the goalkeeper amends from his mistake with a brilliant save to deny Mo Salah. Wonderful position. Oh, but a chance here for Sheffield United. And it's put over the bar by Leon Clark. Well, he didn't have it all the way in Liverpool. If Leon Clark had converted that late chance, I don't think too many people would have made too many complaints about a 1-1 result, but it didn't go in. But when you look at the table, Jimmy, it's incredible, isn't it? Liverpool have played 7 games, Manchester City have 6, and the gap is 8 points. And City are now playing catch-up. They simply cannot countenance not winning at Everton later today.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, looking at the table, it's absolutely incredible. A fantastic start by Liverpool, and by no means were they at their best today. In fact, on occasions they were quite poor, but we've just seen that goal again going from Wijnaldum. So unfortunate from Dean Henderson, because he's had, you know, apart from that, he had a fantastic game. Yep. And there's a couple of chances after that where he quitted himself really, really well. But you have to say Sheffield United played their part today, John. They really did. They were. And if they keep playing like this, they'll certainly pick up enough points to be okay in the Premier League.
I'd imagine Klopp will be honest. They got away with it a bit today, didn't they? Liverpool got the piece of luck, but then luck is something you need on your side if you're going to win a title.
Well,
always.
You certainly do, and like you say, you know, Sheffield United did have a couple of half chances. The one from Leon Clark when he came on, maybe it was a little bit early on in the game, but still, you know, for him coming on off the bench. But you know, they're the sort of chances that really, you know, you're not going to get too many chances against a Liverpool side, but when you do need to. Unfortunately for Leon Clark and Sheffield United, he wasn't able to capitalise. But you have to say, you know, Sheffield United were brilliant. The fans were fantastic, an amazing occasion in the stadium. But once again, Liverpool go marching on.
Mind you, last season Liverpool had big leads, and they were undone in and around Christmas time, New Year, where they lost points in games which were drawn when they should have won. I mean, this was one of them. But they are. Clean sheet is unusual for Liverpool. It's only their second of the season, and Manchester City are not out of it at all, are they? I mean, even though the gap looks huge. No,
absolutely right. And you think last season, come January, Liverpool went to the Etihad. If they'd won that game, they would have been 10 points clear. But obviously got beaten. Then obviously we all know what happened, and Manchester City lifting the trophy. So, you know, but this 8 points at the moment is big. Obviously Manchester City really do need to go over today and get 3 points, because you know, at the moment Liverpool are running away with it.
Yeah, Jimmy, my thanks to you. It's been an absolute pleasure having you alongside me watching this game. You mentioned the Everton-Manchester City game. We'll be bringing that to you live at 5:30 local time with Tom Rennie and the former Spurs defender Chris Perry. Before that, of course, can Tottenham Hotspur blow the cobwebs out of what's been a shocking week for them? They were beaten by Leicester last weekend, knocked out of the Carabao Cup by League 2 Colchester in midweek, and they need to beat Southampton. Russell Hargreaves and Chris Birchall will be bringing you this one. Liverpool have made it 16 consecutive Premier League wins, continuing a club record. 7 wins out of 7 at the start of the season. They're 8 points clear of Manchester City. It's over to Pep Guardiola now to try and match them by winning at Everton. They weren't great today, but these are the sort of games that are champion defining. Liverpool winning by 1-0 at brave Sheffield United. That's it from us. I'm John Anderson. A very good evening. You're listening to Premier League Live.
I'm Sam Matterface, and this is Game Day. TalkSport has your weekend covered as we give you a series of exclusive podcasts bringing you total coverage of the Premier League with a trio of top podcasts. On Thursday, myself and a legendary lineup of pros and pundits will preview the action to all 10 Premier League matches.
On Saturday, it's Your Verdict with me, Laura Woods, and Adrian Durham, bringing you all the reaction and the very best of the phone-in.
On Monday morning, it's the turn of the record book with me, Danny Kelly. I'll be joined by the very best guests as we look back at all the weekend's action, going down the odd tangent as well, all on the way.
Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast on Acast, Spotify or iTunes.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on The Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer. Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
I think it's all about involvement.
The new sound of mid-mornings on Talk Sport with Jim White and Natalie Sawyer.
Pulling you spot on with that.
News-breaking, globe-spanning, mid-morning football talk.
But just for me, I find it a little bit cringy.
Legal, honest, decent, fair.
Maybe that's going to be contentious, but that's what I do.
White and Sawyer.
You don't play, you don't get a medal.
Weekday mornings from 10.
I'm trying my best here.
On Talk Sport.
Hawksby and Jacobs, weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
One Man Went to Moan was a great idea from one of the listeners for Andy's Edinburgh show, and we thought that would be a good bit in the show, but it's not a bit, it's the show, isn't it, really?
The afternoon radio show that's too cool for school. Hawksby and Jacobs.
He immediately got out a red card. Oh, he's gone. Then he got out a yellow card.
Weekday afternoons from 1.
Then he got a 7 of diamonds out.
And then
on Talk Sport.
As we look down from the cradle of our hot air balloon, we wonder as a svelte ocean of stampeding gazelles gallop majestically earthbound towards a waterhole.
Somebody's here, Waterloo. Lovely. Mine's a pint. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock.
Your natural selection for the big game, bodacious banter and hookers. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him, I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport. Premier League live with Talk Sport.
Oh my goodness! Kevin De Bruyne with an absolute howitzer into the top corner. Oh, and how he strikes it. Wonderful goal. Called it so sweetly.
We've got every single goal, every single weekend of the season.
Against all the odds, Burnley have struck an equaliser. Arsenal Football Club simply can't defend.
The goals, the stories, the sackings, the thrashings, and everything in between.
They've only had 2 attempts at goal, and they've scored from them both.
Premier League live with Talk Sport.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Southampton from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me is the former Brighton, Port Vale, LA Galaxy and Columbus Crew midfielder Chris Birchall, and this is Premier League Live. With just 4 wins in 17 games in all competitions, including a Carabao Cup exit at the hands of 4th tier Colchester in midweek, Tottenham simply have to draw a line in the sand and return to winning ways now. Amid ongoing rumours of squad unrest and questions about the future of boss Mauricio Pochettino, these certainly are bleak times for a team who've been used to so much better under the Argentinian. Well, Southampton, in contrast, pulled off a 4-0 win at local rivals Portsmouth in the same competition, the League Cup, in midweek. But league-wise, they've won just 2 in 11 and have won 2 in 14 matches head-to-head against today's opponents. We'll get the thoughts of Chris Birchall in just a second. We'll also be bringing you the starting lineups ahead of what should be a very, very interesting game. Chris now joins me. Chris, I think this could be a really, really interesting match. I've touched already on the fact Mauricio Pochettino, seems for once to be under some considerable pressure. This is all new, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was only a few months ago we were celebrating how well Tottenham were doing, and they reached the Champions League final and everything seemed to be merry. Now consistent rumours about his future, probably because Man United are not doing too well, so that story will always come back up.
And Real Madrid.
And Real Madrid, yeah. But there just seems to be something, doesn't there? Some unrest within the camp, the likes of Ali and Eriksen and Dyer. the ones who were mainstays, first names on the team sheet last year, not getting a game. So it's understandable that we're hearing a bit of unrest.
There's about 7 first-team squad members who are heavily linked with moves away from the club in the summer, all of whom are there, most of whom either are starting or on the bench today. And as you just alluded to, that's got to be surely a big problem.
I think so. I think he's got to kind of get the balance of getting his first team consistent, where there's regularity, there's players playing with each other week in, week out. But when results don't go, that manager seems to chop and change, and then there's really big names on the bench, sometimes not getting a game, and sometimes that will always cause unrest, and just really because results haven't been going their way. But for me today, I can see them really bouncing back.
OK, we'll talk about Southampton and go through their team in just a second, but let's run through the Spurs starting 11. 2 changes to the side that lost 2-1 to Leicester in the Premier League last weekend, with all that VAR controversy, of course. Let's not go there yet, Chris. But Hugo Lloris returns in goal. He missed that game and also the midweek horror show against Colchester due to the birth of his child, so congratulations to the Lloris household. That's all done and parked for now. And Lloris returns in goal. Christian Eriksen, the other player, back into the Premier League starting 11. Paolo Gazzaniga and Eric Lamela, the players who dropped down to the bench. So it is Lloris in goal, a back 4 of Serge Aurier, Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld and Danny Rose. Effectively Tanguy Ndombele and Harry Winks in midfield, with Moussa Sissoko supporting Christian Eriksen and Son Heung-min. Harry Kane up front. The bench, Gazzaniga and Lamela, plus Victor Wanyama, Eric Dyer, Dele Alli, Lucas Moura and Ben Davis. Chris, what do you make of that?
Well, it impresses me the likes of Winks coming in. He's given youth a chance. He came into the team last year. He did really well, and he must be thought of really well by the managing staff and the fans as well, because he's keeping the likes of Wanyama out. He's keeping the likes of Eric Dyer out the team, and like I say, they're bringing that consistency to the lineup. It's tough because results haven't been going but you see near enough the back 4 kind of keep in shape week in, week out. I know we've had Sessegnon injured for the beginning of the season, but
and Lo Celso as well, the other big signing. Neither have played yet.
But Vertonghen and Alderweireld, I mean, for me they're a good pairing, but it's just consistency, playing with each other week in, week out, building relationships, and it needs to be a steady back 4.
Now let's take a look then at Southampton. Also 2 changes to the side that lost 3-1 at home to Bournemouth in the South Coast derby. That was a week last Friday in their last Premier League game. The 2 changes see Maya Yoshida, the club veteran Japanese defender, come back into the starting 11. Ryan Bertrand gets a recall as well at left back. Yannick Vestergaard, the big Danish defender, and Kevin Danso, the Austrian who's on loan from Augsburg. They're the players who dropped down to the bench, so we expect it to be a 4-3-3 formation under Ralph Hasenhüttl, the Saints manager. Angus Gunn in goal. Kevin Danso, the Austrian who's on loan from Augsburg. They're the players who dropped down to the bench, so we expect it to be a 4-3-3 formation under Ralph Hasenhüttl, the Saints manager. Angus Gunn in goal. Back 4 now of Yoshida, Cedric Suarez, Jan Bednarek and Ryan Bertrand. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg alongside Oriol Romeu and James Ward-Prowse in midfield, with Sofiane Boufal and Nathan Redmond supporting Danny Ings up front. Ings with a couple of goals in that win against Portsmouth in the League Cup in midweek. The bench for the visitors, young keeper Harry Lewis, because Alex McCarthy picked up a knock while playing against Portsmouth. Vestergaard, Shane Long and Stuart Armstrong. Young Irish forward Michael Obafemi, Danso and the young Frenchman Yann Valery. They're the replacements for Southampton today. What do you make of that Saints lineup and squad?
Well, it's a squad that he's trying to build and he's trying to make defensively sound. He's trying to make them hard to beat, and away from home they have been that. I mean, in the last 4 away games in all competitions they've won, and Hasenhüttl's got that kind of mentality where he doesn't want goals to go in, and trying to play well and exciting football at the other end. I mean, they didn't get off to a good start, but he's trying to build a team that can scrape out results.
Yeah, he's been saying, we know exactly the challenge we face, Chris, today, but we are in a good, committed state at the moment. I think you just alluded to it there. They probably weren't quite at the races, were they? Right at the end of last season and the start of this. They were great when Hasenhüttl came and saved them when they looked dead and buried under Mark Hughes. I guess they're just trying to re-find that similar kind of form of mentality to when the Austrian maybe first arrived at St Mary's.
Yeah, when he first came in, there was always that excitement, and he gave that buzz around the place and to the fans as well. You saw the celebrations when they won games, and it was kind of like Jurgen Klopp.
Well, he's called the Klopp of the Alps, isn't he? So, yeah, there you go.
But like you said, the they kind of dipped at a bad end to the season, a really poor start, but now they seem to come back and be a bit more harder to beat. But they haven't got a good result record in London in the last 10 visits. So, but their away form at the moment is good, so it's really exciting. Tottenham on a bit of a downer, we'd say, and Southampton trying to get some good results away from home, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Southampton have won their last 4 away from home in all competitions and haven't shipped a goal, even though their wider form and their wider head-to-head form is not so great, as we mentioned already. Chris Birchall's alongside me, Russell Hargreaves. Of course, already we've seen Liverpool somehow get that win at Sheffield United. Massive drama from John Henderson and Jimmy Carter. We hope to provide the same, and of course all the goals from all the other 3 o'clock matches UK time as they fly in. Stay tuned, we'll bring it to you all right here on Premier League Live.
As we look down from the cradle of our hot air balloon, we wonder as a svelte ocean of stampeding gazelles gallop majestically earthbound towards a waterhole.
Somebody's here, what to know? Lovely. Mine's a pint. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock.
Your natural selection for the big game, bodacious banter and bookings. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6
on Talk Sport. Masters of Drive Time Radio, Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
Drive, she said. I'll tell you when to stop.
Big names and big comments from the best in the business.
Darren never did need to step up the performances. I still think United will finish in the top 4.
Scattergun sports talk and explosive opinion.
Jamie Carragher.
I'm talking to Gary Neville and Adrian Durham. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have known who to punch first.
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
I love the smell of football in the afternoon.
Weekday afternoons from 4.
Books and me buns.
On Talk Sport.
Hello, Jim White here. Sorry, I've just nipped into the dentist for a quick checkup. What's that? Open wide? All right. Well, never mind that. Polish up your radio tomorrow morning from 10 when I'll be extracting the biggest names in football and filling your morning with the biggest and best stories I can get my teeth into.
Jim White! Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Can I rinse out now? Oh, sorry, I missed a thing there.
The Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy on Talk Sport.
Join the cutthroat posse in the last chance saloon of sporting prowess.
Come and Navajo if you think you're hard enough.
They'll be rustling up tomorrow's back pages as they send you crashing headfirst along the bar of sport.
It's the good, the bad, and the Cundy.
Get off your horse and drink your milk.
On the Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock on Talk Sport. The cornerstone of any nutritious sports breakfast.
A morning delivery of big names and essential game talk, discreetly wrapped and violently lobbed over the fence onto your radio. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
100% pure Scotch beef.
Monday morning from 6
on Talk Sport. Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport.
You're listening to Premier League Live on TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Southampton from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm Russell Hargreaves alongside the former Columbus crew, LA Galaxy, Port Vale and Brighton midfielder Chris Birchall. It's Premier League Live. We'll continue to build up to our featured commentary game that is about 18 minutes away in a few moments. But loads of other cracking matches taking place up and down the country as well. In terms of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we've got Aston Villa against Burnley, Bournemouth West Ham, Chelsea Brighton, Crystal Palace Norwich and Wolves Watford as well. Let's hear from some of the bosses ahead of those 3 o'clock UK time kickoffs.
Burnley double their lead, and it's a 2-goal salvo from Chris Wood.
We all know how hard it is to get points on the board in the Premier League, so there's balance to that as well. And I think last week was a good kind of